Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater. And if you follow this channel, you know I'm a Cloverfield fan. I have been now for 10 years. And it's one that I talk about with glee. Even 10 Cloverfield Lane was fantastic. And the Cloverfield Paradox was a lot of fun too, even if it kind of left me with more questions than answers. But at the same time, it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that it exists. But there's always been the question as to why. Why Cloverfield Paradox was dropped to Netflix. What was the reason for that? And well, we actually now have a pretty good answer. Variety recently sat down with Andrew Gumpert after his first year as COO of Paramount Pictures, and their discussion turned to the big discussion the studio made to sell the distribution rights to the Cloverfield Paradox to Netflix. How did this decision come about? It's not that all exciting, it's perhaps even a bit disappointing. He says, the movie was finished, we all reviewed it with JJ and his team, and we all decided there were things about it that made us have pause about its commercial playability in the traditional manner. That means that Paramount didn't see it becoming a commercial success at the box office. Gumpert is vague about what exactly made them leery about giving the movie a theatrical release, but the reviews would indicate that it may have been a lack of faith in quality of the film. At the same time, the story itself does have some strange sci-fi elements, like parallel dimensions and a confusing connection to the original Cloverfield movie. So maybe it was the story's content that made them question the commercial appeal. Either way, Gumpert is happy with the decision, but maybe a little too confident about it. He says, there was an ability for us to be fiscally prudent and monetize. For fans of Cloverfield, the fact is many more millions of people saw the movie. It's positive on every level. I get what he's saying there. I get what he's saying about it being positive on every level. I get what he's saying about everything. I do. The movie had its problems, absolutely. It was torn apart by critics, but fans seem to like it, but there's still a lot of divide over whether or not it was a good movie. The fact was it was shot as something else, and then they tried to tie in Cloverfield elements, as seems to be the case with this particular franchise, past the original movie. And that is also part of the fun of it. It's like, what kind of genre, what kind of movie will be turned into a Cloverfield film, and how will it all be tied together through an ARG that is a lot of fun to dive into? But that being said, Paramount has had problems. The Transformers 5 not doing as well as they wanted to. Star Trek Beyond a couple of years ago not doing as well. They've not been doing very good in some respects, and they need to make more, well, cuts. They need to be more fiscally responsible. And so taking Cloverfield Paradox, which was in fact a $40 million movie, giving it a full-blown marketing push, putting it out in theaters in April, which was the supposed release date for it, and then doing the whole marketing push would have been about maybe another $30 million, and the movie itself probably would not have pulled in that much when it comes to any kind of financial return, so it would have been a loss on the investment. Whereas Netflix, well, that was $50 million Netflix paid them for the movie. They gave one trailer during the Super Bowl, dropped it that night, which sparked a lot of interest, which brought a lot of people, which is what they wanted. Ultimately, Netflix came out on top, and fans of the franchise get to see the newest movie. Now, whether or not the movie's done well for Netflix, I don't know. They're very tight-lipped on their metrics. But if it's done well enough, it's entirely possible that Netflix will go to JJ and the team and go, look, we want Overlord. We want this, we want that, we want all these things, and maybe we'll get it. Maybe we'll get it, because at the same time, they did something very similar with Annihilation, right? Alex Garland's Annihilation, which overseas was distributed to Netflix. In America, it went to the theaters. And while the movie was reviewed very well and people really liked it, it did not do great over here. It was kind of swallowed up by Black Panther. To be fair, everything recently has been swallowed up by Black Panther, with the exception of Pacific Rim Uprising last weekend. And so, it's one of those things where Netflix is in the position to give us fan films that we want, to pay for these movies that fans want, and fans will definitely watch in droves on the platform. It's at this point probably the best way for Netflix, for us, I should say, sorry, not Netflix, but for us to get revived properties that are once thought dead. And that's pretty cool. And so, look, Andrew Gumpert here saying that it was a financial decision to do this, and that he's very happy with it. I completely agree, because the thing is, we got it. the thing is, fans liked it. And the thing is, if it's popular enough on Netflix, they'll devote some more of their $8 billion a year for content creation to maybe giving us another one or keeping the franchise going. And the cool thing about that is it's not that our box office dollars determine whether or not we get a sequel. It's whether or not we watch it, we tell our friends about it, and we get more people to view it on the network that we pay a small subscription amount to go see every single month. So keeping these kind of things afloat, this method, yeah, I'm all supportive of that kind of thing, and I'd like to see more from it. So I'm on board. I'm on board, and I hope we get to see more. But I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think that Cloverfield Paradox would have done well theatrically? Do you think it just would have died theatrically? Is it a good idea to push it to Netflix? Should they take more chances with these kind of films to bypass the critical build up to it, where critics, you know, the Rotten Tomato score is not as good right off the bat, and bad word of mouth that might hurt somebody, and then they do this immediate drop, which just drives traffic? Do you think that's a valid business model too? Let me know in the comments below. Very curious to know what you have to say. Anyway, my name, of course, is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater. If you haven't already, thumbs up the video, share it around, and if you want to see more from me, you can do so right now.